Your creativity will die as soon as you grow up, and we can't let that happen. No, this is not a joke. That's why in this video, we're gonna cover what being childish means, why you need to be more childish as a music producer, and how to do this while still be taken seriously. So, if you never heard, there's a board game called Go, and you could think of it like chess, but 100 times more complex. Well, a few years ago, Google had their AI computer AlphaGo challenge the best player in the world. The AI computer won, but guess how? Well, things apparently shifted on what they called Move 37. That was the move that changed the game, no pun intended. So what was so special about this move? Well, since the computer had learned to play from itself, it wasn't limited by the cultural norms of the game. And most experts thought Move 37 was a mistake. That was a bad move. But it was just a move that had never been seen before, at least by humans. A move that experienced professionals can't comprehend is really reflective of what Rick Rubin called beginner's mind. And he mentioned this in his latest book, The Creative Act, which is when you're able to be in a childlike state of not knowing. It's where you can exist without being burdened by all the stuff life has taught you about the world, but instead you feel free to just act as you wish. Now, I've described this state as there is no box and have been using this concept for a few years in my album like Possibilities, but I've also embraced it with a lot of the artists and the projects I'm involved with. See, we need producers that can change the game by remaining in that state of childlike wonder and curiosity. That's how we come up with new moves to leave an impact. So why does being childish or more childlike actually help music producers? Well, for me, it started with classical music. I started at age 6 taking traditional piano lessons. My pops was a jazz and gospel guy, but I had to start with the basics. So that meant music theory, piano recitals, and yes, thousands of hours of practice of Beethoven and Mozart. But by the time I turned 11, I was ready to make my own beats. But those music theory rules and those years of practice were still deeply rooted in me. This wasn't necessarily bad, but it came with a bunch of restrictions. See, because I wasn't starting from scratch, classical music had given me a bunch of limiting beliefs. There were rules that I felt like I couldn't break, and those classical norms weren't supposed to happen, like certain chord progressions or changes in the beat. But that wasn't really true. There were no rules or restrictions on what I could create. There was no box. But all of those hesitations were self-inflicted by me. And I believe nobody can hold you back more than we hold our own self back, our own inner self-critic. You tell yourself that you can't do stuff long before anybody else stops you. And this is why the childlike spirit is important, because if you enter each creative session without the baggage of your past belief systems, you open up a world of possibilities. Now, will allowing yourself to operate from beginner's mind be difficult? Yeah, well, it's not as easy as it sounds, I can tell you that. There's plenty of life that'll get in our way and try to stop this. Plenty of experience that'll be difficult to ignore, and it shouldn't be disregarded completely. But this is a balance that's difficult to achieve, as are many things that we look to achieve. But you're risking more by not allowing this childlike way into your creative space. I've had to learn this many times over and over, and it's an infinite game. It's a practice. It's a way of being. And for the record, it's pretty easy to get stuck in this spot. And sometimes it's because we're not being honest with ourselves about what we're truly dealing with. It takes some quiet time to hear ourselves and realize we're limiting ourselves. And we tend to move around in spaces that live out loud. If that's where you are, I want to share a few hidden truths that are blocking your producer journey. I've been there. Go download it now at KTGotBeats.com/unstuck. You'll learn 1, how your negative beliefs show up as innocent excuses, 2, the hidden truth behind these excuses, and 3, how to begin to get unstuck from these false beliefs. KTGotBeats.com/unstuck. Now, down to the simple blueprint to keep those childish ways. How do we embrace this and still be considered someone great to work with? Well, there's something that I've valued about my journey. In my opinion, it's a top reason for my taste in music, the vast array of different projects I've been blessed to work on, and it's one word: curiosity. Approach music and life with some curiosity. So you can use what I call the 3 E's: engage, experience, explore. That's the framework. So here's a breakdown of what I typically do in order to stay curious. The 3 E's: engage. That means basically be present with the space, the tools that you got available, and the people that are involved. Try to create an atmosphere that supports this for everybody. And this is really the most important step. I mean, this will give you plenty of opportunity to be curious, because We don't know everything there is to know. Experience. Try the possibilities. Test limitations. Don't just talk about it. B. And explore. Ask questions. Observe. Appreciate. Ask questions about the world. Observe it inside out. And then you get to appreciate the moment. And repeat. Those are the 3 E's of curiosity. Engage, experience, explore. Try them out if you've been stuck. That is how you keep that childlike love for music while still being taken seriously. Now, all of this is only possible if you're not stuck dealing with burnout as a producer, and many producers are. So watch this video so you can understand the signs of burnout and how to navigate them.